Hey, I'm Dhruv, and I'm a software engineer here at DoltHub. If you don't know already, Dolt is a version control database that works similar to Git. While Git versions data, Dolt versions tables. You can commit and branch with your database, just like you would with your code. The really neat thing is that we built a website to share your Dolt databases called DoltHub. You can collaborate on databases using forks, branches, and PRs just like you would on GitHub. Our goal is to make DoltHub the open source platform for data, a place where public datasets can thrive and add value for all. On our journey to make that a reality, we brought branching and tagging functionality to DoltHub from Dolt. Today, I'll demo some of that functionality and show you what branch semantics can do for data collaboration. So the database that we'll be working with today is DoltHub's US School database. It's a public list of schools that was created through one of our data bounties. So let's go ahead and look through some of the columns here. Here we can see we have some location information like city, state, address, zip, but we also have names, websites, categories, and whether the school is public or private. So the first thing that we're going to do here is actually fork the database so we can make some edits and play around with it. So let's go ahead and do that. Fork it to my profile. Okay, so now that we've forked the database, let's go ahead and look at some of the data. So here we can run a query right on DoltHub to kind of preview some of this information here, but I'm not really interested in all the school data, just the schools in State College. So let's go ahead and pull up some of that data. Okay, so here we have some of the data pulled up now for all the schools in the State College kind of area here. So we can see we have Penn State University, of course, all the State College area high schools and middle schools. So we've got that all going. And so for the sake of an example, let's imagine that we have a production app that shows us the list of State College schools and it's backed by this particular Dolt database. It would serve the results of this query from the main branch, and we can use the other branches to kind of edit the data before we kind of merge that back into a main. So let's go ahead and create a new branch to edit the data and play with it. We can do that by simply going to the Branches tab, and we can go ahead and create a new branch for master, and we can call this, let's say, playground. Okay. So in a production scenario, we might be concerned about running raw SQL queries against the database, out of fear of breaking something or accidentally dropping a critical table to our database. But in this case, we're on a separate branch, so all of our actions are isolated. So the first thing I want to do is actually add a column to the database that just represents the school's ratings. So I can go ahead and do that. Okay, so here is the query to add the rating column, and we can see that we're doing this on the playground branch. So let's go ahead and do that. And so after we run that, a workspace for this branch will open up, and we can see that in our diff here, schema has been altered and the rating column has been added. Okay, so now that we have the data column, I'm going to fill it with some randomized values just for fun. Okay, so we have a query that updates our rating with random number between 1 and 10, so we can run that. And now that that's loaded, we can see that here we have some of the ratings here on the right. So we can see that they've all been randomly assigned here. Okay, so let's go ahead and check back in on our main branch, our production app per se. Okay, so looking at our State College schools, here we can see on the main branch that we don't actually have that rating column. And that makes sense because, we made all our changes on the other branch. So of course, we're not going to have the changes in master until we merge. And we can do that by opening a pull request. So it's as easy as going to the pull request tab, hitting create pull request, and our base branch is going to be master and our from branch is going to be the playground. Okay. And this title can just be add rating column to State College schools, and open up that pull request. Okay, so we've created our PR, and this is our opportunity for collaborators to comment on our PR. You can send this link to one of your colleagues, and they can go ahead and look at the diff for the data, and they can see that the only thing that's been changed is the rating column has been added. Okay, but back on the pull request, we see all this information, we can see the queries that have been run, and we can click merge to actually put that into master. Okay, so back on our master branch, if we load up our production application query, our state college schools query, if we go all the way to the right, now we can see the ratings column. So after we merged, now the schema was automatically changed, and so here we can go ahead and see the rating numbers for these schools. And that's the magic of branching. Small scale demo, but imagine this process at the size of a large company. You might have tens of people all working on their own branches of this database, opening up PRs to get their changes merged into main. PRs that edit a relatively small set of data could be reviewed manually, but larger PRs would definitely need tests for that data. As part of the review process, humans could test the data for certain conditions or statistically analyze it. At DoltHub, we're experimenting with solutions to this large data review problem. As we've seen today, branch functionality makes it easy for contributors to experiment with the data in an isolated manner. It's just one of the steps we've taken towards making an open source data community a reality. So if you're interested in hearing more, go to DoltHub.com and check out our website. We have a ton of different databases that we've created, and we even have bounties that you can participate in. And if you want to come talk to us, we're always online on Discord. Thanks for listening.